Guys, welcome back to the Merry Boozers. That we're in our live last stream, live show stream a second ago on our patches. That's the fun of live, is we can't always get everything right. So today we're going to be working on the Captain Mike and Pilot Ryan T-45. We thank the guys so much last night for promoting this video out to you guys. What we have here is our T-45 that we've already done up. It's got all our rivets on it, and we're going to be showing you today how to make the rivets, how to do some of the dirtying. What we've actually started out with today is I took some white paint and tried to tone this airplane back to a white airplane. If you've ever had one that sat out in a hot room before, if you left them in the garage, I highly recommend you do that. It'll actually turn the airplane very yellow looking. If you look at the bottom, we haven't done it as much on the bottom. You might be able to see a clean one over here versus a white one.
Now, one thing I'm going to mention is that, could you get a little bit closer on the one we did? The riveting on this airplane, guys, it's a lot easier. If you decide to rivet an airplane, do it before you assemble the airplane.
Right.
You can do it after the airplane is assembled, but it's a lot easier, like to hold this wing in your lap and do this, or on a table, instead of trying to. You're going to see me try to rivet this today, and you're going to see me turn around on my head if I'm trying to do some certain things. If I get way down here, which you probably won't see me do that because we're not going to do the whole. We couldn't be here. This took me about 2 days.
Working on it off and on.
Working on it off and on.
You're going to go cross-eyed if you try and do this in one setting. It takes forever.
So we're going to get rid of the
old one. Our new one.
The new one, to give you an idea of what we're going to try to do to this one.
I got it.
So that's kind of like what we're going to do for this. We're going to dirty this one up a little bit more as far as the panel lines, that kind of thing. We had some dirty on that one, but we're going to kind of go a lot more dirty on this one. So with that all said,
being how
beautiful for my
being as this one had got that yellow look to it, we're going to try and cover that up as best as we can by making it really dirty. So I've invested in a couple tools that I want to kind of go over. This is an airbrush cleaning tank. So if you're working on this in the house and the wife doesn't want you spraying overspray everywhere, what you can do is fill this up with your cleaning solution, put it in here, and then spray it, and that cleans your airbrush out. We also invested in a new airbrush. Airbrushes are cheap, guys. If you ever start having issues with your airbrush, mine last week was giving me a lot of problems, throw them away and get another one. This is $10 for a new airbrush. And I'm going to make sure and link the exact airbrushes we're getting onto Pilot Ryan and Captain Mike's YouTube channel and Amazon store. There we go. Live videos sometimes are the fun ones because you can't hide your mistakes.
now I'm going to show you what three basic pins I use to do the rivets. The basic one I stole from my wife because she does scrapbooking. It's called a Zig Rider. Basically, I don't use that end. I use that end. If you can see, can you see it? Hopefully you can see. It's kind of, but my wife buys these for her scrapbooking. The other two pins I'm going to use will be the fine tip Sharpie and the and I really like to use a sharp one for certain things, but the other, you've seen these 10,000 times, guys. So that's what I'm going to be using today in certain places to do what I like to do as far as the...
You might as well stay up in here so you can see them dotting.
The rivets. So let's get to it, Wesley.
All right, I'm going to get on the camera. Lori's going to be watching your comments if y'all have any.
Now, what I always do is on the panel line that exists, the heavy panel lines that exist, I actually do, and I'm going to just show you guys what I do here. What I will do is I will start with this line, and I'm not as I stated in other videos, that I'm not going to the Scale Masters. So what I do is randomly put these things on there. So here we go. I start there and I do this. Now this is going to take a little while, but if you get good at it, you can go pretty fast. And as you can notice, I'm pushing a hole in that foam. But the pen is leaving a little ink in there. It will not come out after the fact. So there you go. Here we go. And when you first start, you're going, oh God, what have I done?
Because
Okay.
you're going to be here a while.
No, but you start looking at all these little holes and you go, oh gosh, I don't know. But believe me, it will be pretty gratifying. If you notice, I go right straight down the other one. I'm putting 2 lines on that pronounced panel line, okay? Sometimes the foam is hard, sometimes it's soft. When you put this in there, you go deeper on some places than you do on others. It's like drying paint after a while, guys, if you watch me do this.
And what we're going to do is get him going a little ways, kind of show you how we're doing that.
Okay, so,
and then I'm going to start airbrushing.
So what
also.
I would do, and you know, okay, on World War II fighters, you say, okay, that was covered in fabric. Like P-51, its elevator was covered in fabric. You know, it looks better to me if you go ahead and go around the outside. And, you know, if you want to do all the research and do it right, okay, that's fine. But, you know, I'm doing it for fun. So I will go around the outside like this, and then I'll come down the outside of the elevator. And it just makes it look... See, I'm not trying to be exact with every once in a while I get a little farther, but you know, you stand back off this airplane and nobody will notice it. I guarantee it's like a carpenter making an error. He's the only one that knows that you did it. So don't overthink this, guys. When you're trying to put these holes in here, you kind of get the idea. Okay? So I'll come down this way. And then I'll come down this one here. Now I'm trying to do this faster. Maybe I could do it a little bit slower if I was doing it myself and nobody's trying to watch me while I'm doing this. Kind of hard to do this, guys, when you got maybe 10,000 people watching you do this.
It's only 15 right now.
You're good.
But, you know, here we go. Now you kind of got the idea. And then everybody's going to ask me, well, where do you put them? How you put them? At first, you just have to get a feel for where you want them. Make an error. Doesn't make any difference. Start with one of your planes that's not the hanger queen, and just try to start out doing this. If you want to try one, we had a comment last night. There was a guy that I don't remember who it was that commented about him. Painting his first time. He said he enjoyed it thoroughly, and he thanked us for showing him how to do it.
It was an F-15.
Yeah, and he did a wonderful job for his first guy. I mean, I was amazed.
Yeah.
So try, guys. There's no reason. And this is another thing to take your sport to. I mean, when it's if you're
30 degrees,
if you're in Michigan and you've got snow up to the top of the roof, guess what you could be doing? You could be installing your sports by doing this.
And then you get this out to the flying field, and you got the coolest plane at the field.
That's right. You did.
I'm gonna get started on the gun, guys.
You know, in the old days.
You're using again.
Oh, okay. Well, this is called. It's called a Zig. I think that's ZIG, and it's called a Rider, and it's 1.2 millimeter. And I'm gonna roll it over for you. That's all I know. But my wife buys it for Facebooking. Scrapbooking. Scrapbook. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Booking something.
Booking something.
But anyway, Rick, write that down.
And I'll try and get it added
And
to
I've probably did
the Amazon
so
store.
far 15 planes with this thing at least.
Yeah.
And hadn't run out of ink yet. So you don't have to buy 100 of them, maybe 2 or 3.
Yep.
And go with it from there.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody else knows the Sharpie thing.
Yep.
And
All right, so I'm going to start on doing some airbrushing, guys. I've got my gun loaded with black. I've got it to where this is a 2-stage, so air, and then you pull back to introduce paint. And as you can see, the paint starts coming out. I'm going to get going on this while he's working back there. I'm just going to pick me a random panel line here. Now, we're doing a white airplane today, so a little goes a long way on white. You're going to hit the paper mostly, as I showed y'all before. Add you a couple streakies off every once in a while. And like I said, it's going to be very pronounced on this airplane. And we just start picking out panels. We're going to focus on the top for you guys today, just because I think it would take us too long to try and get the whole airplane done today. And I'm going to go like this one has really gotten dirty.
this one's an old one. It's almost going to be retired.
Yeah, we want her
It's got
dirty.
It's got so many hours, and it's a Blue Angels. That's what the Blue Angels fly, believe it or not. It's the planes that's been taken out of first line service. Can you imagine that? What they do.
I had to retire my airbrush this week, guys. My old one was just getting so wore out, so I decided to go on and pick up a new one. Those of you that are just joining in. Like I said, you always make your dirty marks in the direction of the airflow on the airplane. If you've been in the show before.
I want to know what gear you're using in the airplane.
Gear? What do you mean by
airbrush gear?
gear?
What's the name of it? What's the brand of it?
Oh, what's the brand of it? It's an A-Best. I'll link this on the Amazon store, guys, the Captain Mike and Pilot Ryan, and I'll make sure and come back in and add a link in the description to that.
Ryan's just gonna crash.
Yeah, probably. So Ryan's goal with this airplane is to do some hanger arrestment, or not hanger. What would you call it? Arresting hook.
gear.
So
Okay.
funny enough, this one actually
Hanger.
already has the hook on it that hangs down, and he wants to
Car-
try and get it to do carrier landings.
Carry landings, catches with it. Now, here's another
How
thing
many
that I did.
millimeters is this tube
I don't remember. It's the Motion RC 90 millimeter EDF is what it's called, but it's not 90 millimeters for the wingspan. Yep.
Now, here's another thing, guys, where you have the things that exist because you're putting things together, like these things here. What I do here is I actually do, you see what I did there? I do it kind of like an inspection hatch. And then I take my Sharpie here. You've seen the holes I put around it. Then I put holes like this. Just gives it an extra look, believe it or not. To give you an idea of what I do around these things that don't actually exist on the real airplane, I kind of dress them up a little bit. Okay? Just and anytime we got inspection hatches and stuff like that, I will make it look like an inspection hatch where you have to unscrew to get into that hatch. That's what those are anyway. So that's what I do there.
Any other questions right now? Now, I'm still trying to figure out, Hippie, what you meant by gear. On the little, if you're talking, was it not Hippie? There's no real gearing. Now, back here you can turn and adjust more paint versus less paint on your gun. So, like, right now I have it adjusted where if I pull it back a little bit, that's how much paint comes out. If I screw this way back, that's almost all the way out. If I screw it more in, let's do that.
It was Dave Colson.
So see, I can pull it all the way back now, and hardly anything comes out.
By gear, I just meant equipment. That's it.
Oh, gotcha. Equipment. Okay, so this one is actually. Hang on, I'm gonna wait for Lori to get it.
All right, guys.
I have this linked on Pilot Ryan's Amazon store already. These are $80, I believe, off the top of my head. They're gonna come with, if you buy there's two of them on there. There's one that's $10 more expensive, and there's one that's $10 less expensive. The one that's a little more expensive comes with an airbrush. The one that's a little less comes without an airbrush if you wanted to pick a different one. So far, I've been painting for a few minutes with this new airbrush, and I really like it. I like the feel of this one, too. It's got a different texture on it than most of them. Most of them are real smooth. This one's kind of got a textured feel, and I've really been enjoying it. Excuse me. I also run my airbrush at 30 PSI. To change it, you literally just pop this up and start twisting it. And it adjusts it up. You gotta use a little air to get it to go down if you want to adjust down. But like I said, I run mine right at 30 pounds. And then you click that down. Water trap. And I do actually have a moisture trap on my gun also. This is Florida. It really likes humidity here. And water coming out of the end of your gun is awful. So if you kind of want to show them, we've got the wing pretty much dirtied up now. If you wanted to look side by side versus dirty versus not. You can kind of see it now. Just a few minutes of work, and man, it really dressed it up. And I just kicked the camera. I'm sorry. Gosh. Once again, let's just start picking some panels and start spraying in some dirt. Right here behind the intake, we're going to make that nice and dirty. You can always pick like something like here where the canopy would have been and go down with it a little bit.
Another thing is, we just got through painting this airplane white. It's a little on the sticky side.
It's a little sticky right now. Yeah, it hadn't dried all the way. So we're going to go under the canopy here and just add some little, just like this one's really been sitting outside a whole lot. We're trying to hide how yellow the airplane's got. Sorry.
She said.
That's what she said.
Somebody picked up on my thing. There's a lot of times.
There's still a lot of people that say that. I'm gonna go around this little thing here. You can put it on there, like.
I'm not
got some
trying
dirt
to
there.
move the airplane, Wesley. But
You're fine. You're not hurting me. Like I said, my goal is to make this thing look, I mean, used today. Really dirty.
Check out what Papa's doing over here.
I'm still putting these holes in here.
We'll be
Oops.
doing it all day.
I goofed up, but anyway,
Question for you right here, white and green.
we will do that here in a minute.
What's that?
Hang on.
He wants to know about the U oil.
The nun oil. The
nun
nun oil. However we say it. We're gonna get to that also.
Yeah, we'll get to that also.
There's just a lot of steps to this, guys, and you just gotta go a little at a time. And
Oh no, that's not what they were asking.
No, they're
White
not.
grease thingy of putting some on the wheel axle. Anyone know if some gets on the plastic, will it hurt the foam?
No,
Oh,
They're
no.
kind of asking the whole group.
grease? Nah.
Just use a silicone or something.
Silicone lubricant's
Yeah.
always a good one.
But we will be doing this here in just a little while.
Our panel line oil.
Panel line oil, and we're going to be doing some grease that's running down. That's really neat. I really like it, especially on World War II fighters. Of oil that gets going and flowing, and it's really neat how you can do that with an airbrush. And we'll show you that here in a little while too. But that's done with this, not the paint. But that's another thing we'll be showing you.
Oops, missed that one. Looking good, guys. Looking good. Let's
Looking
see.
beautiful.
I'm trying to make this where this little thing looks like it.
Now, when you're doing this riveting
the
thing,
APU.
if you stay here for about an hour, take a break, walk away,
Yep.
stretch your. I mean, I'm 65, so every once in a while I take a break. You're not going to do it. Well, you could if you're young and 20 years old and don't walk away. I guess you could do one, but This airplane here, when I did it the last time, took me about 2 days to do the whole thing. A lot of people's going to ask, how do you know where to put the rivet? Well, just kind of common sense it. You know, that's all I can tell you. When I started doing it, it was like, would there be a rivet there? That's how you do it. Can you overdo rivets? Yeah. If you look at a real airplane, are they overdone? Yeah. So
They're everywhere on a
they're
real one.
everywhere. But if you're doing this pronounced stuff like on these jets like this, yeah, you could go too far, I think. I kind of stand off from it and say, okay, I have to finally just say that's enough. So that's all I can tell you about how I determine where the rivets are.
Make sure I haven't missed any questions.
Well, I'm concentrating, so I'm not saying.
Yeah, sorry, we're not talking a ton right now, guys. We're just kind of concentrating on getting
Hopefully
the plane.
you're watching what we're doing, kind of. And
We got 20 people in here right now, guys.
hey, guys, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming by.
We enjoy doing this.
I'm going to
for
take
you.
it right here around the intake and just kind of hit it from the front with some streaks there just to give it the look like this intake's taking a lot of whacks and hits from flying.
Well, you know, Ryan said it last night. You have to enjoy your sport, and that's what we're doing. I think Wesley and I really enjoy what we're doing, and sharing it with others is something we really like to do. We don't know it all. We're not going to say that we know it all. We just know what we like, and we're trying to share it with you. So,
Right, I'd make you a moderator, but I don't know how.
Yeah, we're learning here how to YouTube still, so.
Let's see, I'm going to set y'all back here, just an overview, and I'll see if I can figure it out. But
Yeah,
it's
she's
really
got
not-
another phone that she can jump on or a computer, and we'll see if we can figure out how to make you a moderator.
a moderator.
It's so he can drop links and stuff while we're doing this.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
Papa Boozer don't know how to do a lot of this stuff. He's like, duh.
Oh, you know what? I think it's just filming my back right now.
It kind of is, yeah, we're getting your butt.
Turn it over
I
towards the
get a good
tail
view,
here.
but
Alright, guys, back to the panel lines. Uh-oh, and I think I just ran out of paint. Let me get some more paint.
Back to the riveter.
Back to the riveter back there. We got Rosie the riveter here today.
Yep, that's me.
Aha.
That's
I think I
me.
figured it out. I think you're a moderator now, Ryan.
He should have a little blue emblem now on his name whenever he does anything.
The
Thank you. I
moderator,
would've
what's
figured
that?
out.
It makes it to where he can
Okay,
post
right.
links and talk for us in there.
Yeah.
I'm one on his
Oh,
channel.
is this Pilot Ryan?
Pilot Ryan.
Yeah, okay. Hey,
Are you
Ryan.
thinning the paint at all?
No, well, okay. So it depends on the type of paint you're using, man. So what I actually buy is either this is Tester's brand airbrush paint. And it comes pre-mixed, ready to go right in the gun. You don't got to mix or nothing. It's always right. And I've loved this stuff. It's a little more expensive to buy it this way. This bottle's about $5. Or I use, here's another nice thing now. I just ordered this. Now I have a place to set down my airbrush. And it holds it in here where if I need to run it, I can. It goes in the bottle. It doesn't spray all over the place. Let me slide by you real quick there, Lori. The other paint I use a lot, and these are definitely on Ryan's Amazon store, and so is the one I just showed you. This is called Vallejo or Model Air. It's actually Vallejo's who makes this. But this is also airbrush ready. Take the bottle, dump it right in your airbrush, start spraying. It's great, great stuff. It's kind of expensive, but not needing to mix paint all the time is also really handy. I can add this on there too. Haven't had a chance yet. This is airbrush cleaner. This is the stuff I actually use. This big gigantic bottle is, I mean, a ton of this stuff. It'll last a long time. And I think this is like $10 for this giant bottle. Now, you can also thin paint out with this to shoot through your guns. And then you can go to Wally World or wherever else and buy Apple Barrel or... I forgot all the different brands. Apple Barrel, Americana. There are 10,000 brands of it. You've seen it at every hobby shop or Walmart. But, you know, these bottles of acrylic paint, you can thin them with this. And yes, you can use them in your guns to paint with. Now, like I said, I just like the Vallejo paint. It's easy to clean up. It's water-based. If you make a mistake, you can either clean it off with your airbrush cleaner or alcohol. But be careful, because when you start rubbing with alcohol, you're going to take all the paint off. If you want to take this orange off, put a little alcohol on a rag and start wiping, and that orange will come right off. Now, that's on the newer airplanes. We did find out last week the freewing.
What is the ratio on the acrylic paint? They want to know that.
As far as a mix for ratio, when you're mixing it, I usually do about 1 part to about 1.5, 2 parts as far as your mixture between paint to airbrush. You want the consistency to be very watery whenever you do it, guys. If you take it and move it and it just globs around in there real slow, it's too thick. You got to get it really thin for airbrush paint, which I don't know if you can see how thin this actually is.
1 second, Ryan. I'll get you a closer up of the gun again.
Hang on a second here.
Add it to the
I'm going to
story.
put a little bit of paint in here so you can kind of see the consistency.
Maybe we could get it over here by the light.
I will. You see down in there? I mean, it's like water, guys.
Is that the greatest?
It's kind of hard to see it, but I mean, you want it the consistency of water. Normally, it's about 1 part paint to 2 parts airbrush medium. You do want to use airbrush medium, or if you're in a pinch, Windex works great for airbrush mediums. I'm just being honest. Before I started buying this, I used Windex for everything, and it works great. It smells good. You get a little lightheaded when you're standing in a room spraying Windex, though, aerosol style. So be very well ventilated if you're going to do the Windex. But it works. You can thin all that stuff with Windex, no problem. And it's a lot cheaper than buying the good stuff. But if you're going to do this all the time, I don't know, invest a little money in it. It's not a whole lot to get invested into this.
And tell us the name of your gun one more time.
This is
a
ABEST. Ryan, I can send you a link after the show for it, and we can get it on there. Like I said, I think I paid $10 for this one, and I bought it this week. I actually bought it from your store, so it should be on your recent purchases if it's uploaded yet.
Okay, guys, so that kind of finishes this part of it back here. Now, I haven't done the horizontal stab, but that pretty well... Now, here it goes again. You get this hard plastic stuff right here. Guess what I do? I go in there and put them in there like that. Bingo. I do that just like I did, but I'm doing it with a Sharpie. And it does, unless you just wipe like crazy, it stays on. So I haven't had any of mine come off, but I don't. These are not gas airplanes, so you're not wiping all the time on them. So I will keep going around.
The other thing we did before we got started, clean your airplane with a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser before you do this. This thing was gross dirty. It looked like it had been hanging in somebody's garage for 2-3 years and never wiped on. So this cleaned this airplane phenomenally. It doesn't take the yellow off. As far as if the airplane's been sitting out in the hot, we did is just lightly took our airbrush with some white in it and just painted over the whole airplane to kind of get it more white. Now, a lot of that's getting covered up now by us doing the dirties. So you can hide a lot of uh-ohs with this dirtiness.
Is the tester's water-based?
Yes. All the paint I'm using is. Now, they do have oil-based tester, but the stuff that's on Ryan's Amazon store is water-based that I've linked. And it looks just like this. Testers, airbrush, paint. And it actually says water-based on it somewhere. I'm going to find it. No, It's on there somewhere, though. Well, the part number is a 94418 to be exact, if you wanted to know the exact model number of this paint. But it is water-based on this one. It cleans up well with alcohol. It cleans up well with airbrush medium. You have a hard time getting it off the stuff with just water, though.
They said you use the Mr. Clean on the straight foam, not the painted.
Yep.
Use it on the painted.
Both. Doesn't take the paint off, guys. I mean, you don't want to just be scrubbing it real tough, but it cleans these airplanes really well. I actually ran it on the stickers, everything, and it didn't peel any of this stuff up. So, you know, lightly rubbing it on there. It got the airplane very clean, though. There were stains where birds had pooped on it and all kinds of stuff on here. It took all that off really easily. So,
Yep, the magic eraser.
Yep. And he's starting out on the wing now. So.
Well, I mean, I kind of wanted to show you the main wing, what I did here. These are the inspection hatches. See, and they come out, you know, somebody gonna say, how do you come out evenly? I don't know. It just comes
done it
out.
for a long time.
Okay? It just comes out. Just like I say, it just comes out. Sometimes it doesn't, but like I say, the only people that are gonna know about it is you.
Yep. Somebody walking by looking at your airplane's just going to see that you sat there and put 10,000 rivets on it and say,
Bingo.
wow, that's amazing. That you took that kind of time to do it.
But it just makes your airplane pop, guys. I'm sorry, I'm prejudiced, but I just like to make your airplane pop.
And look different than everybody else's at the field. Everybody can go out and buy a brand new one.
Yeah, the good news is you don't have to sit here and paint it all. I mean, that's a wonderful thing. Didn't have to start with a box of balsa.
No, didn't start with a box of balsa. This
And
is
it
just a
didn't
little bit
take
of
you
hobbying.
6 months to build it. And it's I'm like Wesley, for what you get today and what you're paying is phenomenal compared to what you would have done in the old days. So.
Sorry, I'll
Okay,
mention this in a minute, guys.
so when we come to the insignias, I keep going. Okay, I just keep going. That,
Keep swimming.
and it looks good. I mean, if you're going, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Here we go again. Inspection hatches. What I really like a more wore out Sharpie than this, kind of rounded off to do this. I like to put a real big dot on these, but bingo, bingo, bingo. Don't go too crazy. When I do this, maybe we want one here.
Yeah. They say you work close and they walk by at a distance. See the difference. Alright, we're going to go back over here to the airbrushing side.
I'm not being exact on this nose cone, guys. This is the removable nose cone up here. And I'm just kind of dirtying it up, making it look, you know, worn out. That's all you're going for. We're trying to make this thing look like it's been flying. I'm going to make some range streaks here, coming off the nose. Just starting in the middle and kind of streaking it around.
Ryan says you guys have to sign it before you send it to him.
Sign it, huh? Don't have to look like nose art? Where do you want us to sign it? Somewhere in here? I can sign it in paint.
Wesley wants me to put Old Yeller
We were
on
going to call it Old Yeller
Yeller.
and write it across here, but we could easily put our names on it. And,
Call it Old Yeller and put your names right underneath.
yeah, however we got to do it. We'll do it for you, man.
It will probably be, we're not going to finish all this today, so sometime at the latter part of the week I will probably be letting you know when and how we shipped it to you.
Hippie says don't do it, it'll end up on eBay.
Ryan sell an airplane? He never does that. Do you sell airplanes ever, Ryan? I thought you kept them forever. You guys, I'm joking. I know the answer to that.
I heard him last night. He has to finance his sport some way.
That's right.
Dennis says right, he's funding his next project.
Here's his next project right here.
I want to see that. I want to see those carrier landings.
Carrier landings. That's right. Your hook's already in there too, Ryan. I don't know if he can see me or not, but
Yeah, we can see it over there.
It comes with I've snapped it down a while
there you
ago.
go. It's already ready to go, man.
Woo!
Yep.
Add you a servo horn on there to make it drop for you, but there it is.
Papa gets going pretty fast on these dots after he forgets somebody's watching him. That's the good news.
So.
They said earlier they'd all close their eyes if that helped you.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but this is Papa is not a paid actor, and he's pretty bad. He's an old Texas boy, and he talks Texas.
Texan.
The camera we are using is an iPhone X.
Yep, this is the iPhone X, and we have a Rode microphone that's actually specially designed just for the iPhone X. Plugs into the side of it. But I'm hoping you can hear us really well. We've tried to upgrade a lot of our equipment to get it to where you can hear us really well nowadays, guys. I'm kind of at a point where I need to just stop and let him catch up a little bit.
Are you kidding?
I know. I know. But, I mean, you can kind of see where we're going. I'm going a lot dirtier on this one. Let me grab ours again and I'll show you. Kind of.
Thank you, Dennis.
Now that you know
Sounds
where
good.
we're trying to get to, eventually this airplane and that airplane will match up on the rivets.
Ish.
Ish. Here, Dad. Hop up real quick. So you don't have to spend all day riveting. You guys get the idea on the rivets. Lori, if you want to come in here and show them kind of what he's going for now.
It's matching what I've got. What I've got going, you need to shoot it from over here so you see both wings here,
Right.
both tails.
Oh, crash and burn.
Running into stuff. There we go. There's our tail. And there's Ryan's tail.
So as we get going here, I just wanted you to kind of get to see a fully done one because, I mean, there's a lot of dots he's got to add still yet.
Yep. You got to be really wanting to put dots on. Like the air brakes. I even put the dots on the air brakes down here. If you look at the air brakes here, I make them dotted up here. Okay.
The bottom.
The bottom.
Lots of dots.
And then I warned Wesley with all of his life not to crash one when I did it. But the good news is Wesley's an excellent pilot, and he very seldom crashes one unless it's a mechanical. It's not pilot, so I'll give that one to Wesley.
You broke it.
He broke the nose off.
Oh, throw it away.
Okay, Wesley, what I want you to do is we want to dirty up the bottom like the oil has been running all over everywhere.
Okay. Let me shoot what's left in the gun out on the tail.
Okay.
Dennis says he doesn't have patience for the rivets.
Oh, come on.
I've got a little paint left in the gun, and we're going to go over here and focus on the tail for a minute.
I like it. They're being called Papa Dots.
Papa dots.
Papa dots again. Hey, that's pretty good. Papa dots,
Papa dots.
again.
Ryan says don't kill yourself. Now he feels bad.
Like Papa Tot, but Papa dots.
Yeah, Papa Dots.
Like I said, I always do the little streaks, guys, here on one of these. As you can see, and then I'm going to take and do this leading edge too, just so it's kind of got some smokies on that leading edge.
And then
all this. He's going to get some of the... It's over there.
nudie oil.
The nun oil, newel oil, whatever we
nudie
call
oil.
it anymore.
Okay, watch this, guys. This is hard. This is really hard. I get it on my brush pretty thick, and I'm gonna pull it across there just like that, and then I'm gonna do that.
Now, on a wide airplane, be careful with these. You can get them overdone.
Well, Wesley said we're dirtying this one up, baby.
That's right, we're dirtying.
We're dirty. And see that? Look at that.
She's been a dirty girl.
Look at that.
And then put it in the lines.
Look at that. Ain't that pretty? No, that's all I did. And then you can, okay, another thing, what Wesley's saying is this, is you can also, in a white airplane, watch out. You can put it like it's been, the oil's been in the...
Dirty losers.
Dirty boys.
Yep. You don't have to be all the way down.
You're trying to get it pronounced is all you're trying to do.
It looks amazing, guys.
Look at that, guys. And it didn't take a lot, you know. Yeah. There we go. There was some coming right through there. Vroom.
This was a severe
Look at
crash
that.
over here. We're gonna make this look
Look at
damaged.
that. Boom, bingo. This baby's been flying.
Look at that one. Just out of fun. So this airplane has flown a lot.
I don't think that's too much.
Before we got it, the gear got pushed through the wings, so this one's got some stress damage.
Okay, so here we go again. We're going to pull. Wesley's done these, but you can do that. And pull that through. Don't stay with one. Do another one. And white is like, oh my God,
when you put it on there. A little bit of the streaks. You don't want to go too crazy with the streaks on this one.
Yeah. Well,
Now, what we can do real quick is say, let's do, trying to figure out where we want to do it from. Put me a dot.
no, let's do it on the bottom.
Bottom? Okay.
I know what you're going to do, but
I gotta move.
All right, so you kind of got the picture of what we were doing with the top, guys. We're gonna come back to it a little later. We're gonna get to the bottom now and show you some other techniques again. But you're getting an idea now of where we're going with this, and it's gonna take us, you know, a little bit longer than just the 1 hour we try and do for the show to finish all this.
Looks so good.
Stress damage. You like that? That's official stress damage there.
that's official. That landed a little hard.
The colonel was mad at this guy when he brought it in.
Okay, we're gonna flip her over. That way. I think I know what Wesley's gonna do, but I don't really know for sure.
We're trying to pick. Now we're gonna pick a place that we want some streaks,
Okay,
man.
the engine is back here.
Right.
So the engine is normally what's going to leak. So, you ready, Wesley?
Whoa, that was a big streak. That's okay though.
You want to do this or what?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, here we go. Well,
Give me more than that. We need lots of
I thought I
it.
had more than that. Okay.
Now we're gonna take and do some oil streaks. Can you see that? There it goes.
Let it run.
Let it run, guys. Follow it wherever it goes. The air's pushing it backwards is what we're trying to do. Splatters and oil and.
Do you still have an ESC in it?
It does right at the moment.
Is it going to?
Nope.
Where you want the most? Do you want any more?
Keep going. Let's drink the shit out of this.
Watch your language.
Sorry. The shiz-niz is out of it. Whatever.
Keep it PG.
Nah, we ain't monetized. We can say whatever we want.
There you go. Oh,
And this is just air right now.
Someone says how much for the plane. I'll lose him.
Unfortunately, Ryan has already picked this one. Whoa! Big old splat.
But you
This
can
one's
see
already
how,
sold.
You can see how this on a reciprocating engine up by the radial, you do this on the bottom along with your exhaust, which this don't have an exhaust, so we can't show you that. But here we go, Wesley, do some more right back here. One more on this side over here.
Sorry guys, trying to get you a good angle.
It's good. Let's call that good.
Okay.
JP says you're doing too much caffeine. Those dots are too fast.
Dots are too fast. Well, Yeah, I realize that the rivets are not for everybody. I mean, I understand that.
25 viewers, guys.
Hey.
That's pretty good. Anybody have any questions on anything so far? What's being done?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. We'll try
You
to
know,
answer
guys,
them.
I want to say something to Mike and Ryan about their show. I mean, I agree with you guys. This is a hobby, and we really like to share our hobby with a lot of people. So I'm having a great time. At first, I was kind of nervous about doing what we're doing, but the more we do it and the more people enjoy what we're doing, it makes it a lot easier. But I'm just having a great time with what I've learned in the past about some of this stuff that other people have shared with me. I'm not the guy that come out with some of this stuff, but other people that have befriended me in this sport has helped me a long way, and I hope that's what I can do for some of you young guys, to let you just enjoy your sport a little bit more and maybe answer some questions. What's that? Who's saying what?
Oh, they're talking about Mike. Hippie said he sold him to the circus because he's not here.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna show you what I don't know where.
Hang on, I got you.
Yep. Yeah.
What do you think?
Does the airbrush equipment come with the inline moisture separator?
It comes with this one right here.
Hi, Ricky.
It does not come with this one. I will try and get this added with Mike here in a little while. The way these work too is you take and push this, and the water actually sprays out the bottom. I don't know if y'all can see that, and it cleans your moisture out of your line. This one right here is trapping as much as it can. Now, it is very humid here right now. We have the cold front going through here in Florida, and it is very humid right now. You can also push the bottom of this one and let some of the water out of there if you have it, but this is worth its weight in gold here in Florida. Like I said, you can see the water shooting out of that maybe, but it's helping tremendously. And these are like $5. Plastic. I ended up having to use Teflon tape down here because it kept leaking, and I always just unscrew my gun right here at this fitting instead of down here now, or I unscrew it right from the tool. You know, this isn't the most high quality airbrush in the world, guys, but it does what I want to do phenomenally. We've been painting with it all day. It's a little on the warm side because we've probably been painting with it for a good solid 2 hours. But it's held up well. I haven't had any issues with it. You know, I don't throw it against the wall or nothing, but it's been holding up really well.
Flying Ant wants to know just where we are in Florida.
We are in Central Florida, in a town called Webster. Little bitty town known for a flea market. That's actually what the biggest thing in our town is for.
We're closest to Leesburg.
The villages.
The villages.
The villages.
You don't know what the villages are. It's the
villages.
largest retirement community in the world. Has the most golf courses per capita in the world. It's got 150,000 retired
Who else
people.
watching?
So, and I'm one of them. So, yeah, but Ryan was asking us last night how far it was from Orlando to where we are. You come, there's a thing called the Florida Turnpike.
Yep, turnpike.
And you can get on that turnpike and come directly kind of northwest on the turnpike, and you will run right into where we are.
So, Lori, real quick, I want to show them this too. A lot of guys were asking questions on airbrush stuff tonight.
Evan's waiting room, yes it is.
We got this little cup thing here is about $10. Once again, don't take my exact price on this right now, because I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. Little glass jar with a hole right here and an airbrush holder. It's very handy when you're doing stuff like this. It also has a little cotton filter right here. And what this is right now I'm kind of done airbrushing for the moment. So I could put some of this airbrush cleaner in my brush, swish it around real good like that. And now I can take and actually blow it in there, and it keeps it from coming out everywhere, all over, everywhere. And it's a good way to clean out your brush between colors. So now I got all that out. Let's run a little bit more. This stuff's nice and cheap.
Flying Ant got his invitation to the villages.
Here you go.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap.
And that just helps clean everything out of there. Pretty clean. Now I like personally to unscrew that little end cap that's on the airbrush. Screw my needle valve out. Ooh, it didn't come out like it usually does. New airbrush, I'm learning. Alright, so this one comes out like this. Wasn't 100% sure. Now I can take a rag. So if you get this one, that's how you take this one apart, by the way, guys. It comes apart in the middle, not by the end, like I'm used to. Turn the air compressor off. Now I can take and pull this back a little bit, because otherwise there's like a little hyperbaric needle almost right here at the end. You can see that little thing sticking out. That thing will poke the poop out of you. But you got to keep it clean, huh?
I kind of see it.
Can you see it? A little bitty. Focus.
Put your hand behind it. There it is.
That little needle. Don't go to wiping on that with that needle sticking out. It will poke the poop out of you. And you just take and pull back on this to move that needle out of the way. If you get this one. Every airbrush is a little different, unfortunately. But all I was doing was taking some of that. Just a little squirt in there. Doesn't take a lot. And that cleans it out. Airbrush thinner. Or airbrush medium. Oops, I forgot to put the end back on the back of it too. Ta-da. And that's usually all you need to do between color changes and cleaning. You know, the cleaner you keep your gun, the longer it's going to last. Oops. Air compressor's off. Spray it on a piece of paper. Make sure it's coming out nice and clean. Looks pretty clean to me, guys. So now, the other nice thing about having our little jar is we have a place to set our airbrush now when we're not using it. Great little investment there. Alright, guys. Well, I think for the day, how long have we been running on here?
52 minutes.
So what I wanted to show you, down here is a lot of plastic parts on the bottom of the airplane. As you can see, I'm using the Sharpie on those to just rivet around them. When the gear closes, they'll be having rivets on them too. So what I do after I do that, of course, take the other pin, the wrong end again, and then you'd be going on the outside of this like that, and you just run them. Where are they? Flow. You think this takes forever, but you're amazed how fast you can go with it. I know I have to take some calming pills, but like I say, it's not that hard to do it, and it's I love it. I mean, no, I don't love to sit here and do dot. My wife can kind of crazy as bed bug, but it's after I get it done, it's very gratifying.
Yeah. And we don't crash a lot of our airplanes anymore. We've been doing this long enough that I think we've lost none.
No, you've lost a couple.
2 or 3 maybe, and
but they weren't really your fault. It was kind of something
and the last
crazy.
3 years, I might have lost 3 airplanes. And it's, like I said, mainly due to we lose a servo, or one was radio gear. We've been doing it long enough that we don't mind spending a lot of time on our airplanes anymore. prettying them up because we just don't lose them very often. Like I said. Anyway, love it though. I mean, it's fun, guys. If you don't got anything else to do for the winter and you're looking for a hobby, I mean, it's great.
And you just jinxed yourself.
Yeah, I might go out and splatter one tomorrow.
Yeah,
It might
yeah,
happen.
that's
Help me
true.
turn this over.
That's true.
The other thing I want to do is go grab the black spray paint and spray it down the tailpipe, which we might be able to show. I could just load up the airbrush again, but I just cleaned it off.
Papa Dots are awesome, so Snippy.
Papa Dots.
Hi. I've got a new nickname. My name's Papa Dots.
Papa Dots.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that.
It wasn't Ryan that named it that.
Oh, I thought it was. Who was it?
Oh, shoot, I don't know. That was a while back.
That was pretty good, though.
So, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some black spray paint. Do not go very thick with spray paint. It will eat the foam on a lot of airplanes.
Or test it before you
Test
do
it if you're going to, if you're going to repaint a whole airplane.
Let me get this worried.
Well, what we're going to do is if you ever look at a jet, it's not going to have white on the inside. And what we're going to try and do is make this blackened up a little bit. Huh?
It's Hal Roofner that called it Papa Dots.
Hal Roofner is Papa Dot's creator.
I got a feeling that's going to catch Papa Dots again. I keep hearing Willie Nelson.
That's not Willie Nelson. That would be Alan Jackson.
No,
Sorry, I'm going to get my head in here for a second. Yeah, that's Alan Jackson, Dad.
Who said Papa Top again? That was, no,
That's Alan Jackson.
No, before him.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It was.
You're getting too old for me now. Oh, you're right.
What?
The older guy did it too first. I don't remember what his name was either. Alan Jackson made it really famous though. But there you go. Now we got us a black intake. So if you're looking at it from any angle up here, it just looks correct to see black down there. And that's our dog, Winnie. Winnie.
George
Anybody
Jones.
want to see any?
Was it George Jones that did that?
No, it wasn't George Jones.
Anyway,
George Jones.
any other questions, guys? We're gonna wrap it up here at an hour. We're gonna finish up doing the rivets, of course, over the next few days. It just takes so much time to do that. We've still got to pull the ESC and the motor out of this because we're keeping that for our current project. We're gonna be rebuilding a 90mm F-16 that I was able to acquire very well damaged, let's put it that way, and we're going to be replacing everything from one fuselage over to the other, and we're going to make some videos on that. But we needed a motor and an ESC for it because we didn't get that when we got the airplane. So I offered Ryan up this airplane if I could keep the motor and everything out of it. So anyway, we got to do that this evening, and then
Another
There won't
video
be a
we're gonna
live.
make is.
There won't be a live next week because you won't be
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
oh yeah, that's a good point too. No live video next week, guys. If y'all have enjoyed this, I'm actually going to be out working in Tennessee and won't be able to get home next weekend. So we will not be doing a live video next week. We've really enjoyed doing them though, and like we said when we started this, we can't promise we can do it every weekend. I work all over the country, so it's not always feasible for me to be home or to be able to do this. But thank you very much for spending some time with us today.
We showed you a little bit about one of the things that I have done one, was converting a gas plane over to electric. The one that I did was rather large. We're going to do a video on that to show you what tools you need, what do you need to look at as far as how big a motor you have to have for so much weight, that kind of thing. There's a lot of old, neat, built-up gas airplanes that can be converted.
Yep.
So we're going to do one of those. The one I did has like an 8-foot, 9-foot wingspan, and it was huge, but it worked great. I mean, I was surprised the first one I ever tried to do, and it turned out as well as it did. So I've got an old Stearman that I think maybe be the next one.
Yeah, well,
Down
it's
the
a
line.
40 size, I think.
Yeah, it was a 40 size Stearman, built up Stearman.
We've got motors somewhere around here we've ordered to try and do some airplane conversions.
Here's
We've got
a
a
32
and a 25.
E-flat 32.
Um,
Wesley swears the 32 will work on that Stearman.
I think it's going to be enough motor for it. We'll just have to do some testing on that.
But you know, we're trying to think out of the box. I mean, if you guys think of anything you'd like to see us do, Wesley's always wanted me to show you how to cover
an
with
airplane with monocoat. I actually bought a special kit just for us to do.
I've done monocoat. I've done ultra coat. I've done the old dope and fabric, like the old biplanes. I've done it all. And if I don't remember how to do it, I got a friend back in my hometown. And that's another thing I'd like to put
Another
online.
project that I've always wanted to do with him, and I thought would be neat, is building a scratch-built airplane. So I ordered this small kit because I don't think it would take us near as long to build this as if we tried to build a quarter-scale Cub kind of thing.
No.
So this was something that I've talked about, and maybe one of these days when I'm home a little bit more, we might start
It'd be easy
doing
to
something
do
like
this.
this.
We could build it real quick, and then we could cover it.
Show you how to cover it
monocoat.
correctly,
You know,
that kind of stuff.
That,
So
we can do that.
we do want to do balsa airplanes too. I don't see a lot of channels doing balsa anymore, and I don't want that to become a lost thing because balsa is a great thing. So we want to show you that you can do electric, you can do small. I've got little power plants for these things. You know, if you're bored over a winter vacation or winter time where you can't fly a lot, that's a great time to build a balsa airplane, and it's very rewarding to have a balsa airplane.
Yeah. Just
Something
takes
that
time.
you've built from nothing. So
But I will say that
I mean, this is literally.
these things take.
There's this airplane. It's a bunch of sticks.
These things take a dedicated place to build one.
Right.
It is not your home in your home because you're gonna sand balsa and it's like dust everywhere, and your wife will not like it. So you're gonna have to build these things either in the garage or in a separate building outside because it does not work in the house. Like we're in the house here, so this works because you're not sanding anything.
Yeah.
And it does. The old gas airplanes and the building material for them has a certain smell, and it's not. It's kind of like an air. If you ever went to an airport, it's got that certain airport smell. Well, RC airplane, gas airplanes have a certain smell too, and it's not one that your wife likes in the house.
Yeah. It definitely has a smell to them. Same thing with nitro or gas or anything.
But I will say, I was an old gasser, but boy, these electrics have come a long way.
Long way.
And man, when you can pull them out of the box and they're
have them built in less than an hour.
I always wanted to fly a P-51 with a scale 4-bladed prop. Well, you didn't do that with gas because it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But here you got the scale. I mean, you got come out of the box. It's got retracts. It's got a 4-blade prop.
They've got all the little plastic accessories, and this airplane new is like $450. But could you imagine going out and buying a jet for anything like that? Any of the old guys like me, this plane would have cost you $2,000-$3,000 back when me and
doing
him
a turbine jet
started doing it. Yeah.
And you're going to be talking.
But it's amazing to me.
$5,000.
It's amazing to me that there's actually companies now making foam jets that you can put a turbine in.
Right.
I mean, I'm just blown away with that. I know Ryan actually did a video on them not too long ago. So, anyway, guys, we're gonna kind of cut this one out of here today. If there's no last-minute questions on anything you need to see, I'll get with Ryan on adding a couple of more things to the Amazon store. You'll be able to find it under the Miller's. I think it doesn't say Mary Boozer on there right now. I think it says Miller's paint recommendations. I'll get him to add the airbrush thinner, the new airbrush I'm running, the little pot. I'll get all that added on with him over the next. I might get it done tonight. I just got to kind of get there and get it done. So
give a shout out to if anybody's new that they need to get on Saturday nights and.
Oh yeah, definitely. So there's one thing that we want to talk about is Pilot Ryan and Captain Mike. If y'all haven't seen it, go check them out. And on Saturday nights they do the Pilot Lounge. I mean, there's a group of guys on there that we meet every night. I think he's had it going almost 20 nighs. As far as 20 Saturdays in a row. Yes. It's been going for a while. You know, the group of guys, a lot of them are in here, I'm sure. I mean, I've gotten to know some of them. I've never met them in person, but I feel like they're one of my friends now. getting to know a lot of these guys.
A lot
I
of-
highly recommend you stick out and come on a Saturday night. I've missed a couple. I mean, everybody does, but
24 weeks in a row.
24 weeks in a row. There it is,
But,
Ryan.
you know, a
We
lot of,
highly recommend anybody that's in here or sees our video that hasn't been in one, check it out. They're a lot of fun. Like I said, a lot of goofing off and a lot of learning,
now,
actually.
you're not the only goofy guy that does RC. And this is a way to get in to visit and chat with people who do this and enjoy it as well as you do. So, like I say, you're not the only goofy guy out there. But a lot of good things on Saturday night.
Flying Ant, I see the comment right now. I'm actually looking at it. We are trying to figure that out. He's going to be here at Disneyland here in a little bit, or Disney World, whatever it is here. And we're trying to figure out maybe getting to meet up with Ryan and get to meet each other. So
Yeah. And another thing is, I don't know if we don't want to. I was thinking about everybody. You want to go to Joe Nall, but everybody wants us to go to Jet Jam. And
yeah, we've got to look up Jet Jam.
because I might be in North Carolina in
or
June.
it's not North Carolina.
I
Jet
thought they
Jam's in
Where's it at? I thought somebody
Indiana, I
said.
think.
Where's it at?
I'm not 100% sure where Jet Jam is.
Where
We're going to
is
have to
it?
look that up and talk about maybe trying to get there. But we're going to wrap this up, guys. Thank y'all for coming by. We've really been enjoying these live videos. I'm sorry I threw you guys off with the double upload today. Those of you that didn't see the patch video earlier, check that out after this gets finished up. Those of you that came in late, thank you very much for at least coming today. We really have appreciated everybody that's been watching our videos.
Like and subscribe
Yeah,
to
like and subscribe
the
if
Merry
you're
Boozers.
not. Check us out.
We enjoy that. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. We'll try to straighten it out and show you things that if we're able, we'll show it to you.
All right, guys, I'm gonna cut this short. I'm checking out your comments right now. I see why Ryan has a hard time with keeping up with them. I mean, they just keep going and going and going.
I can't even keep up with them when I'm looking.
I know, it's
at the
like, oh
screen.
gosh.
And I'm typing along, and by the time I get it in there, it's already went past. So,
Well, guys, thank you very much. I'm going to go through and read all of your comments and watch along like I was watching this just to see. I mean, I've been getting a kick out of watching these with you guys and seeing how everybody's been doing. So, thank you, guys. We're going to do this. Here we go. Let's do the Ryan thing. 5, 4, 3.